All right, here we go.
We're live.
Yes, we are.
We're back again just to see you out before the year ends. And today we are going to be doing day 4 of building as a founder behind the scenes inside of the Flavor Room and Flavorworks, mind you. And today's topic is visibility foundations. But before we start, this is not a blueprint. This is our observations, experiences, and what we are doing and what works for us, nothing more. So take what you need and apply as needed, but do not copy.
Yeah, absolutely. So I need to come off camera for a moment, but I will be speaking. All right. Okay. So when it comes to visibility, I think it's important for us to define it first, because there's a lot of misconceptions that you just post on social media and that makes you visible. That you have one viral moment and that's visible.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very limiting way to view your visibility as a business owner. Now, if you are an influencer or a creator who is looking for brand deals, then that's a different conversation. But most of the people we encounter in Lace, they want to be taken seriously for their skills, for their business, for what they're bringing to the table. They're not here to be an influencer or a full-time content creator. So visibility is essentially getting in front of the people you want to buy your stuff. And there are a lot of different ways to do that. But what we see touted most of the time online is post more, create more video, do something that is going to get attention, finesse the algorithm. But as we move forward into 2026, there has to be more than just finesse. There has to be more than just posting. So if you are still banking on that to grow your business, you are putting yourself at a huge disadvantage.
Absolutely correct. So getting visible requires several things: clarity, consistency, and audacity. Clarity, what do I mean by that? That is knowing what you're posting, why you're posting it, or what you're writing, what you're doing, what you're recording, whatever it is that you're doing for your content. It's being clear about what that is, who it's for, and the purpose of it. If it doesn't have any point or you have no idea what you're doing, doing everything else that comes after that becomes very, very difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. And clarity, as you mentioned, and we put that as the first one for a reason, because as you said, everything else comes from that. I see a lot of people, for example, who are posting on social media and they claim to have this business, but when I go to their page, I have no idea they have a business, because everything is pictures of their cat, it's Christmas photos, it's food. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but this is where the clarity comes in. What is the purpose of your page? A lot of people have a huge opportunity to have their social media page at the top of their funnel to aid in establishing visibility. Not being the only piece, but to aid in that. So if you are filling your profile with mom and cat and food and all of that, you're missing a huge opportunity. You want people to land on your virtual real estate. Well, yeah, rented real estate, but we'll get to that later. And be like, wow, okay, I know what this person does. I know they can help me. It's clear to me what the next steps are. So many people miss out on that. And that is where visibility shines, that it's very clear to people who you are, what you do, how you serve, and what are the next steps they need to move forward, or share that information with someone else who may need what you offer. So the next one, Lace, is consistency, right? Consistency gets confused for just do it more, right? It's confused as frequency, but you can be consistently doing something that is not serving you. You can consistently be doing the wrong thing, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be consistent month after month. Exactly. You could be consistent month after month posting, but it doesn't have that clarity. And therefore, that consistency that you've been putting in is not serving you. So, what I always tell my clients and what we have told our members inside of the flavor room, let's think beyond consistency as far as frequency, quality, right? What is it specifically that you putting out there? Is it your message? Is it the same message being put out there over and over again, which is marketing, right? Not coming online one day talking about space travel, and the next week you're talking about your coaching services. That's going to confuse people. So a lot of times what happens is people are like, oh, I've been posting, I've been doing this, but no one's reaching out. And if I were to go back and look at their posts for the last month, I would see a hodgepodge of, this and that. Well, no wonder people are confused about making a decision, because you haven't positioned yourself as the clear choice with the clarity, and you have also not displayed consistency. Why would someone want to pay hundreds or thousands of dollars to someone when that person who's claiming to offer the solution is not consistent? That's a huge red flag as a potential client or customer. And the last one, Lace, is audacity. I don't know if you want to touch on audacity, or would you like me to do it?
I think this is something that we're really good at in the flavor room.
Absolutely.
Especially with what you see from us is we're not sat here going, well, we're just going to say all the nice things and try not to piss anybody off and just be all nice and fluffy and hopefully everybody will like us, because that does not land. Your stuff needs to be polarizing. It needs to capture attention. And you also need to be saying what it is that you really need to say, what you feel in your heart, what you feel in your soul, whatever that is, regardless of who is going to annoy, because those people are not for you anyway. They are welcome to follow. They are welcome to never read your stuff again. They're welcome to just disappear, and that's good. They're going to buy from you, so that's fine. But the people that do listen, the people that are, the ears are pricking up, the eyes are open, and they're going, yes, 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 they're your people. And when you say what you need to say, unfiltered, those are the people you're going to attract. They're the people that's going to buy from you. So that's exactly what you need to be doing. Your content needs to be a filter. And when I say it needs to be like, saying what you want to say, and it needs to be polarizing, I do not mean go out there and just be an asshole. That's not what I mean. A lot of people have taken this polarizing idea as, I'm just going to go out there and be a dickhead, and then people are going to pay attention. No, unless you are. If you are that way, by all means, go out and be that, because nobody's going to be surprised later on down the line. But what I really mean when I say audacity and be audacious is to just speak the way you need to speak, be completely yourself, and that's how you're going to stand out.
Absolutely. There's no space anymore for the same old, same old. There's no space anymore to just kind of fly under the radar and hope everybody likes you, and that somehow the business that you want to create for yourself is just going to fall into your lap by flying under the radar. No. Okay. More and more people are coming online to do their thing. That means statistically, okay, more people are going to be doing something that is the same as you or very similar. So if you are still trying to just kind of be passive and, oh, I don't want to offend anybody, and, my parents might be watching, person I haven't spoken to since junior high might be watching. You have to decide, do you really want to create what you want to create with your business? Are you about it? That's what it comes down to. If you're not going to be about it, then it's best for you just to bow out gracefully with this, because that is what is required moving forward. Okay, people are more discerning and more sophisticated with how they are spending their hard-earned money, which is very hard-earned these days, right? So they don't have time for that. They don't have time for the fluff. They don't have time for the wishy-washy. Oh, well, I may be able to help you or maybe not, and I can't really describe to you what I do because it depends on each person. No. And quite honestly, you should not expect that from someone, that they are going to drop, as I said earlier, hundreds or thousands of dollars for your products and services by you being wishy-washy, because that's actually a disservice to them, and it is not fully transparent. What comes to you, again, having the audacity to say, you know what, here's how I can help you. Here's the results that people have achieved with my products and services. But also, this is what I really think about X, Y, and Z. People are looking for leadership. People are looking to be led. It doesn't matter if you're selling website design or whether you're selling coaching or something else in between. People are coming to you to have a problem solved. They want to be led to the solution for that problem. So that means there's no room for you anymore to hide behind, well, maybe I can help you, maybe I can't. Here's my really cute branding. No, you got to get out here and get it. And that requires, again, to recap, clarity, consistency, and audacity. So let's move to ways to truly get visible. And just as a disclaimer, this is not an exhaustive list, okay? There is an infinite and multitude of ways to get visible outside of just posting aimlessly into the social media ether. And that's what we really want to impart on you today with this conversation is that, look, you say you're an entrepreneur, right? So start entrepreneuring. Think outside of the box. Think of ways that you can get in front of your people and get the results in your business that you want to create. That involves thinking bigger, thinking bolder, doing the scary thing. And this is not us just saying something hypothetical or something that, we read somewhere else. This is us speaking from a place of lived experience because we've actually done it and we continue to do it each and every day. So yeah, let's get into some of those ways that they can become visible.
Yeah, this goes far beyond social media, just posting on Facebook and thinking, oh, I'm visible. No, forget the whole social media thing. Yes, of course, if you use it, it is a tool and it can also be taken away from you in an instant, which we're going to go into a little bit more shortly. But there are so many more ways. Like businesses have been running since the beginning of time and there wasn't Facebook, there wasn't X, there wasn't Instagram, there wasn't TikTok. There was so much other things going on. So what we're actually doing, again, this is not just something we're just saying, oh, this is a great idea and we've heard that other people do this. We are doing this. You want to find ways to get into public relations, PR, something no one ever talks about, but is absolutely how you get visible, because PR is going to put you in a whole different space in your business and in your visibility, because you're not going to just disappear into the scroll after 5 seconds of posting something. These are things that are going to stay around forever. They're going to keep coming up forever. The search engine optimization is always going to keep working for you on these things, and you don't even have to do it. It's the companies that are going to have you on are going to be doing this stuff. So I'm talking like magazines, newspapers, digital TV, national TV, international TV, books, stuff like that. These are the things that stay around forever, and there is a lot of it. Podcasts, that's another really great one. I've done a lot of podcasts in my time. I've just had a new one come out yesterday, I think it was. I did the Real Family Eats, and it was so much fun because the lady actually cooked one of my recipes as we were having a conversation, which is, I've never heard of that, and when I saw it, I was like, I've got to get on this. So podcasts are a great one. And it means that people are hearing you speak. They're hearing you talk about your passions. They're hearing about like parts of you that you probably won't share in your marketing. So they really get to know you and they connect with you. And when that happens, they're like, hey, either I really don't like this person, and that's fine, they're not for you. Or they're like, do you know what? I really resonate with what this lady's saying. She's been through X, Y, or Z, or whatever it was talking about. I want to get into this woman, man, company's world and learn more. And then you're calling your people in. And these are people that you would never have found posting into the social media ether.
Sorry about that, lost you. Yeah, PR is huge, and that's a whole other conversation, but that's just one way. That is just one way. The good old-fashioned way of just having conversations with people. That is kind of missed with social media, is having conversations, connecting with people, finding out what they need, right? That is something that works for you exponentially. Talking about what you do. even if it's in person, going to in-person gatherings and events with your business cards, flyers, whatever it is that you have, and sharing that with people. That is a good old-fashioned way to building visibility. And no matter what anyone says about technology and this and that, nothing beats human connection. Okay. Something else you can do is blogging. People don't talk about blogging anymore. No, it's not dead. That is another way to get visible. Email marketing. Okay, that's another way to get visible. No, it's not dead either. Webinars, trainings. No, those are not dead either. Those are just some ways to connect with people and get in front of people. Doing virtual events, whether it's a summit or, conference or, something or the other. That's another way to get in front of people.
And of course, being part of a community, a proper one, like the Flavor Room, where we are referring each other, we're getting to know each other, we're having those conversations, and where you become the go-to person because of whatever it is that you're doing. You're in the room, people know you, people trust you, they're going to come to you, and also they're going to refer to you when they come across someone during their conversations that need what you're offering. They're going to say, hey, I know somebody, I'm going to pass you on. And that's what's happening inside the Flavor Room.
That is what's happening, and it really is an ecosystem, which we said from day one, and it's doing that. People are connecting, people are buying from each other, and that's essentially what everyone wants, right? That's the biggest hurdle, is building that trust, especially nowadays. But when you have an ecosystem like the Flavor Room, it does the work for you, because we have standards, because we're invite only. That trust is already built automatically. And that is one of the many things that we can say that we do exceptionally well that no one else is able to do. But I want to move on now to talk about why specifically visibility is huge. I mean, yes, on the surface level, you can be like, oh, because you want people, to know who you are, know about your business. Sure. But knowing how to navigate visibility and knowing how, as I said earlier, to take advantage of the many opportunities that are out there for you, aside from social media, right? But also not being afraid to think outside of the box. Okay, I also said the phrase earlier, virtual real estate. It's not even real estate that you own, it's rented, okay? On these social platforms, they can pull the plug on you at a moment's notice. And I know this from personal experience. Don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole because we will be discussing this in a podcast. So
Yes.
make sure that you stay tuned for that, because I'm going to go into all of the little dirty details in the podcast episode. But suffice it to say, my Facebook was disabled on Friday because I am just too hot for Meta, apparently. And the thing of it is, I have seen other business owners just basically lose everything because they were relying on social media, relying on Facebook, they were relying on Instagram, or, these different platforms where that was their bread and butter. Where if they weren't posting or doing their thing on those platforms, there was no business to speak of, right? But when I received that email that my account had been disabled, I was relieved. I was honestly relieved. I was not scrambled. Wasn't even really worried about it. You know why? Because I am not dependent on Facebook. These platforms are a tool. They are not your bread and butter. They are not the end all to be all. In fact, these platforms were not made for you to do business on them. That's one reason why it's so difficult when it comes to the algorithm, but that's another conversation maybe we'll have on the podcast. But changing your mentality around that, right? If you are like, oh, well, if I don't have, Instagram, if I don't have this, I don't have this, I'm done for. You really got to think about that, because that is giving your power away to something essentially you cannot control. You cannot control Meta. You cannot control X and YouTube and all these places.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, you can play by their rules all you want, but they change the rules all the time. And they don't have to tell you when they change the rules. And specifically, they don't have to tell you how the rules have been changed. So if you are pouring your heart and soul into your business on these platforms, what are you going to do when they pull the rug? Because you don't know if it's going to be you or not. You could be like, oh, that'll never happen to me. I'm not crazy like Sutton. Maybe you're not, right? But you don't know when that could be you. So why would you want to give your power away to something that is completely outside of your control, where you are constantly, trying to compete with the algorithm and appease it? And, oh, maybe if I do this kind of content and I do that. I mean, Facebook has already said that they are limiting how many times per month you can have links in your posts,
Mm-hmm.
inside of the posts. And why is that? Because you are in competition with them. And that is a competition that you are not going to win because they're on the platform, right? So if your links are taking people to a place outside of Facebook, well, that is a problem for them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why even when you do put links in your posts, even now, your reach is limited.
Yeah.
That's why you're better off putting it into the comments, but we're not going to talk about all that. So again, changing your mentality, your mindset around social media as a tool. That is it. It is not your business.
Mm-hmm.
If you are relying on it, really think about, what would you do if the plug was pulled today? Would you have to scramble? Would your nervous system go into overload and you wouldn't know what to do? Or you'd be like, oh, okay, well, I have these other things going on. Would you say that? Would you be like, oh, I have my blog, I have my this, I have my that. I have people that already know me. Would you be able to say that? Or would you be stuck? That's where your power is. That's where your power is. To throw around the term CEO. That's where it's at. A real CEO is not relying on social media to get what needs to get done. So that's what I would say on that. Lace, do you have any words with?
I think you've covered it. I think you've about nailed it. But if you're like, do you know what, shit, if my stuff was pulled today, then it's time to start creating your actual virtual real estate, which is something that you own, which is something that Meta and all the social media overlords cannot take away. And we have ways to help you with that.
Yeah. I mean, Flavor Room, that's a huge one right there. The community piece, the ecosystemic piece, the real, what do they say? Your network is your net worth, right? That real piece starts with a Flavor Room. And the other piece with that is actually building a digital presence results. Not a digital presence where it's just there, where you're collecting dust. No one's ever been to your website, right? It's not getting you the things that you want it to get you. It's not leading to book calls. It's not leading to sales. It's not leading to growing your email list, right? Which is things everyone wants. Not leading to, when people Google your name, interviews pop up with you, right? Not when people Google your website, where your website is the first one up there, right? And they're able to go to your website and be on your path to learning more about you and working with you, or buying your thing. If that's not happening for you, you need to come talk to us about FlavorWorks, because that is the other piece of the Flavor Room brand. What we do is we're strategic partners for founders, for solopreneurs, for small business owners who really want to actually get the most from their digital presence without being online 24/7. And we help you do that through customized and strategic website development. Okay, not just slapping a template together saying, yeah, girl, that's cute, go get it. And months later, you're out of money and nothing's really changed, right? So we cover that, but we also do messaging, which I believe I talked about last week. Messaging is huge. Being able to communicate clearly
That clarity
And
piece.
yep, that clarity piece again, and compellingly to the audience that you want to reach, and positioning yourself in the way that is going to deliver the results that you want. And last but not least, the customer journey, the customer experience, which is huge but often overlooked, where people come into your world, they feel like they know you because the website built trust, right? But then the messaging spoke to their soul. But then they are on a customer journey where they're like, oh, this feels luxury. This feels like I am taken care of, I'm supported. I want to continue to be in this person's world. In fact, I am so excited about the experience I'm having. I want to share it with my friends, right? I mean, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want referrals rolling in? Who doesn't want revenue rolling in, right? That revolving door. And that's
Yes.
what you get when you have a customer experience, a customer journey that is thoughtful, that is intentional, but that keeps people coming back. Not coming back because you dangled the carrot in front of them and you've been scamming them. No, that keeps them coming back because they have just had a brilliant experience and they want to give you testimonials. You don't have to go fight for them. They want to tell other people about it. They want to spend more money with you. That's what we're
Yes.
doing. So the website development, the messaging, and the customer journey, the customer experience, you will not find these three pieces anywhere else. And I guarantee it, because we're actually experts. We know what we're talking about. So boom, that's how you fix the visibility. That's how you stop relying on these platforms who are just sucking your energy and your time, and a lot of times your money as well, is with the Flavor Room and with Flavorworks.
Everything that you need, if you're interested in learning more, is going to be in the comments. And I just wanted to also mention that when it comes to that point that you need your branding, we've got that covered in Flavorworks too, because we have an amazing brand strategist working with us as well. And when you come to need that app, when you are ready to let go of a little Facebook group and having your course built on these platforms and all of that nonsense, we've got app development going on as well. So we got a whole package. So everything you need is in the comments, and we will see you again soon, unless you wanted to touch on the very, very last thing, which is what we're doing is mind bending.
Ooh, this is so long. We'll come back and talk about that some other time. So
We'll come back.
stay tuned.
Ciao.